Good evening, Patriots. This is Praying Medic, and this is my Q broadcast for March 20th. You take a 12 hours off of Twitter, and the whole world goes crazy. I am back on Twitter, for those of you who need to know. My theme is the battle of good and evil. Those of you who are following at home, you can find Q posts on a number of websites. QMap.pub, QAnon.pub are a couple of them. If you have an Android phone and you'd like to get alerts when Q is posting, you can find Q Drafts and Q Alerts in the Play Store. All right, let's get rocking. Sorry for the lateness of this, but Q has been busy this afternoon, so we'll get you all caught up. This is from March 18th, a couple days ago. And this is actually on the 17th when I think this was tweeted out, if I'm not mistaken. An account on Twitter called VB Nationalist, which has a cute little Q for the avatar, tweeted this out. We have to fight back. They have not let up on President Trump nor his supporters since they lost. They're losers, we are winners. President Trump calls on Fox News to bring back Judge Jeanine Pirro. So we have that tweet, and that was retweeted by the president. He retweeted, you can see up there, Donald Trump retweeted. I took the screenshot of that. And as I said, this account, VB Nationalist, has a Q avatar. All right. So an Anon noticed the Q-related avatar on that account that the president retweeted. So did a number of other accounts. This one, Trump just retweeted a Q account. So last one left alive, please turn off the lights and lock the doors. Will Sommer, the big Q hater from the Daily Beast, got into the action. He tweeted this out. Trump retweeted an account with a QAnon avatar today, and QAnon fans are thrilled. Yes, actually they were kind of thrilled. So Q, and this is on March 17th, Q asked, what day is today? How much more obvious can we make it, Q? So an Anon reposted this. Look what POTUS retweeted and what's in the upper left corner. Got the little avatar there. Q replied, retweet many for plausible deniability. March 17 this was a message to who? And the Anon said, it was a message to the Anons. Of course it was, because Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet. Then Q posted WRWY, that is, we are with you. For those of you who don't know, the president actually uses that phrase, we are with you, once in a while. These are tweets from the president, November of 2018. Here's another one from November, and here's another one from October. We are with you in all of these tweets. Thank you to Lisa Mae Crowley for pointing that out. And Anon made this graphic, just pulls together the avatar with the Q. Q is the 17th letter, and you've got the post by Q there. Then we get to this, a graphic showing the connections between John Podesta's visit last week to New Zealand and his warning about an upcoming cyber attack and the mosque shooting. Q previously informed us that a lot of mass shooters have therapists and are on medications. So we've got this graphic. Q asked, what does a dog do when he or she has a bone? Did he have a therapist? Who paid for his travel to the Middle East? Q. This image on the left-hand side is, I believe it's an image of the gun that was used by the shooter. And you might notice on the stock, there's a similar symbol to what John Podesta has on his left hand. It's kind of a fish symbol, and the number 14. Now, some people have quickly pointed out that the graphic misinterprets the symbols, and that may be true, but Q did not create the graphic. It was created by someone else. And I don't think the correct interpretation of the symbols was actually the point. Q is trying to make a point here, and it's about the theme of these posts. Then Q posted a thread by Burn Notice, an account that I follow on Twitter who does pretty good threads. The thread from Burn Notice talks again about John Podesta going to New Zealand and Australia, what he talked about while he was there, discussions about Pizzagate and all that. So then Q posted a video. It is a speech by Ronald Reagan. I'm not going to include the video for copyright reasons, but Q highlighted from that video the phrase, we must fight. All right, so just bear all this in mind. Then Q reposted that meme again, or sort of the tweet from the account VB Nationalist, and said, we have to fight back. Q. Seeing a theme yet? All right, to reiterate the theme of the post, Q linked to this tweet by the president. To the people that got you there, keep fighting for Tucker and fight hard for Judge Jeanine. All right, so Q reposted a link to the president's tweet and put in quotes, keep fighting, Q. Q then posted this flag, which we've seen before, definition of patriot, definition of traitor, and a flag. And why is this relevant? Because that flag is currently the top post on the board, Patriots Fight. There's that word fight again. Are you seeing the theme yet? What is the battle that we're fighting? What is the nature of it? Well, Q gave us another hint. We have this image, dark and light, good and evil. That image is from this, which is a very clear depiction of the battle of good versus evil, the fight of good versus evil. Are you seeing the theme yet? Okay. Q posted this flag image, and take note, the file name on the image is 1775 PNG. All right, what does 1775 have to do with anything? Well, 1775 is the year of the battles of Lexington and Concord in the Revolutionary War. Q has previously mentioned Lexington and Concord twice, and I'm just going to read a couple of parts from those previous posts. This is on November 6th, 2018. Remember the battles of Lexington and Concord, give me liberty or give me death. For far too long, we've been silent and allowed our bands of strength that we once formed to defend freedom and liberty to deteriorate. We became divided, we became weak. We elected traitors to govern us. We allowed evil to prey upon us. Those who claimed to represent us gave us false hope, made false promises. The evil and corruption only grew. That's the first post. This is the second one. This is from April of last year. Where we go one, we go all. By the way, this is the first time Where we go one, we go all as an acronym was ever used by Q. Drops will go fast, White House clean, SIG, marker, everything is planned, years, message, unity, awakening, we fight, Lexington, Concord, stay together, Q. All right, we fight. There's that word again. So Q, I think, in all of this, was trying to get through to us the message that this is a battle. We are in a fight. We are fighting good versus evil, darkness against light. All right, that's the battle. It is the battle of the kingdom of God and the kingdom of darkness. All right, so we're going to go on to some other things here. Q posted this on still on the 17th, screenshot of a tweet by the president and the top viewable comment, which is from a Q-related account. Q wrote, Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter, who has a real control. Can you remove the top comments, Q? Not long after Q posted that challenge, the usual Trump hater comments were the most visible ones. Okay. Q then responded, thanks for playing, Jack. Showing your hand was the intended target. The strike will be fast. Shall we play a game, Q? There was a misspelling on there, and Q corrected it. I believe this is the message Q wants us to get. Patriots are united in their pursuit of common goals. Good versus evil, right versus wrong. Power over another person is not okay. Patriots are not divided. Borders do not separate us. We fight together. We're strong together. We the people. Where we go one, we go all. Wanted to say just a few words. The T-1, T-0 days came and went. And if you've been following me for any period of time, you know that I tell people you need to manage your expectations. Disinformation is real. A lot of the things that Q posts are intended to fake out the deep state. When Q gives us countdowns and dates, you need to be very careful about taking those as literal and managing your expectations. Okay. Some people are understandably upset to hear that Fox News hired Donna Brazile as a commentator. I am not. Sarah Carter weighed in, saying she thinks the addition of Brazil is a good thing. She said, I actually think it's important. We should have more voices, and Donna Brazil will be able to bring that voice to Fox viewers. Carter Page, interestingly enough, retweeted Sarah Carter and said, I agree with Sarah. Since Donna Brazil has firsthand experience inside the DNC, while their paid consultants were bribing U.S. public officials and agents of a foreign power, I can't wait for her first segment with Hannity and Tucker Carlson. Now, you have to go back a little bit to November 2nd of 2017. This is the first week that Q was posting. Donna Brazil dropped a bombshell report revealing how the Clinton campaign illegally took over control of the Democratic National Committee. This article, you can find it on Politico, Inside Hillary Clinton's Secret Takeover of the DNC, is an excerpt from her book that was about to be released later on that week. That same day that that article was published, Q posted this: Is Donna running for cover? Was a deal granted in exchange for something? Who made the deal? Do we care about Donna or those who instructed her to violate the law? Why is this being leaked versus simply prosecuted privately? Who is attempting to change the narrative and soften the acts that are forthcoming this weekend? All right. Q suggested that Donna Brazil was running for cover from Hillary and her associates because she had information that could be very damaging to them. Q suggested that Donna Brazil was cut a deal and allowed to, or told, she has to tell her story about how the Clinton campaign took over the DNC, because if that story wasn't told by someone that Democrats trusted, they wouldn't believe it. And I think Fox hired Donna Brazil because they need someone that Democrats are going to trust, as corruption is going to be exposed involving a lot of their heroes. Then on the 18th, it was announced by Devin Nunes that he's filing a lawsuit against Twitter and a handful of users for shadow banning and interference in the 2018 election. $250 million lawsuit in compensatory damages, and he is seeking $350,000 in punitive damages. Q posted a link to that article. You were warned, Jack, the strike will be fast. Let's keep playing Q. So within 24 hours after Q challenged Jack to prove to the world that he can mess with the algorithms and change what tweets are seen, Devin Nunes announces he is going to be suing Twitter. All right. How did Q know that Devin Nunes is going to sue Twitter? I don't know. All right. Anthony Camello, 24 years old, held up his hand during his court appearance in New Jersey. He was accused of taking out a mob boss, and he has a Q on his hand. Link to the article, New York Post. Q linked to that article. So much effort to kill a LARP. Nothing to see here, Q. Yeah, why are they going through so much trouble to discredit Q? 8chan account on Twitter said they're responding to law enforcement requests regarding the recent incident where a lot of websites were used by this criminal to publicize his crime. We always comply with U.S. law and won't comment further. Q linked to that tweet. Who is the real intended target? Well, the real intended target of the harassment of people on 8chan is Q, because Q broadcasts on 8chan. All right, Q posted this on the 18th. What occurred the last time a countdown was presented? False flag in brackets. Do you believe in coincidences? Never interfere with an enemy. Ammunition is hard to come by. The last false flag that I remember was on December 5th, when it was advertised that John Huber, U.S. Attorney Huber, was going to appear at a hearing before Congress to testify on his investigation into the Clinton Foundation. That was scheduled to happen December 5th. On December 5th, that hearing was postponed because George H.W. Bush, his funeral that day. And regarding that funeral, Q wrote, bait expends ammunition, evil has no place here. Q wrote up here, ammunition is hard to come by. And down here on the December 5th post, Q said, bait expends ammunition. It is very difficult for the deep state to come up with ammunition. If you can get them to waste their ammunition on false countdowns and false warnings and bluffs, you deplete their ammunition, which makes them more helpless. So a lot of what Q is doing is being done to remove the ammunition that the deep state has. And look, I follow Q's lead. I know sometimes that the things that Q is saying are going to pan out to be disinformation. But being a good Q decoder, I have to go along and follow Q wherever Q is going. I always have suspicions. I always have wonder, doubt, well, is this another head fake for the deep state? But I go along with it because that is part of the game. And as much as Q says this is not a game, he's talking about the enemy. For the deep state, for evil people, for corrupt people, Q and the president and their war is not a game. But for us who are following, in a sense, it is a game, and we need to learn how to play and not get our expectations too high and realize a lot of this information is going to end up, not panning out the way we expect. Okay. Q posted this. Mueller in brackets, report, delay, panic in DC. The real panic comes in the form of a last resort, and we've got a different countdown, plus 21, plus 2, and plus 4. On the 18th, Q gave us a new countdown, plus 2, plus 4. What would, if we take this literally, what would be today? Today, March 20th would be plus 2 from the 18th, 2 days. Okay? So sit tight. Q posted photos of 7 members of the deep state: Clapper, Sally Yates, Susan Rice, Loretta Lynch. Let me expand my thread here. We've got Mr. Brennan, former CIA director, James Comey, Andrew McCabe. Devin Nunes posted, looking forward to being on Sean Hannity to discuss, he's got a little red X there, which is a symbol being used for shadow banning. Q posted a link to his status and said, listen carefully. Got a couple of clips here from Devin's interview with Hannity. In this first part of the interview, Devin Nunes states that this is the first of many lawsuits.
A high school kid. Tell us about the suit.
Yeah, so this is the first of many, Sean, and what we're doing here is we're actually going after Twitter first because they are the main proliferator and they spread this fake news and the slanderous news.
In the second part of the interview, Devin Nunes says that Twitter allows a double standard. Conservatives are punished for behavior that violates terms of service, but accounts that attack conservatives don't suffer the same consequences.
I think if Twitter wants to be in the public square and they don't want to be a content developer, they should come clean, give us all your algorithms. How is it possible that I can be attacked relentlessly hundreds of times a day by fake accounts that they claim in their terms of service should not be there? So I guarantee you, if I put something out that was sexually explicit or attacked someone personally, they would stop it. They would say this is a sensitive tweet. They never did that to any of the people that were coming after me or other conservatives.
In this third clip, he points out that because the mainstream media is effectively dead, fake news stories about Russian collusion were spread on social media, where most people get their information. Nunes wants to hold accountable the people who propagated the fake stories.
Every American should care about this if they care about the First Amendment, because the press has definitely changed. You've said it numerous times. The press is dead. And that's why if we don't go and clean this up, and I actually said this on your show a few weeks ago, this is part of the continuing Russia investigation. We're not going to just let all these fake news stories that were written about this investigation, about this hoax, that were lies, we're going to challenge every single one of them in court. We're just starting with Twitter.
Well, the thing is it's so influential, and you're talking about so many, if not millions, billions of people, Facebook and some others, that it's incalculable how much that assists a narrative or a point of view.
And I think this is the most important part of the interview. Nunes says that he wants to expose who was behind putting those fake news stories out.
And also why it's so important, Sean, part of the reason that I'm starting with Twitter in these lawsuits and going on to the fake news stories, it's important to know who was behind putting those fake news stories out.
Wow. All right. We're going to follow this very closely. I think there's a lot to this story, a lot more than may meet the eye on its surface.
So who is responsible for putting out the fake stories? Well, that would be people in the FBI and Department of Justice. In the Inspector General's report from last year, it explained how agents in the FBI essentially colluded with mainstream media reporters to put out stories to leak information that accomplished their agenda. And that is relevant because Q has indicated that one of the first things we're going to see regarding the placeholder posts is media collusion being exposed. This is a post by Q. It has a lot of abbreviations. But if you go to my decode, you see all these people in the Department of Justice who leaked information to the press. You have these people in the FBI who leaked information to the press. And you have all these people here. You have John Brennan and Comey and McCain, and through the President's Daily Brief, a lot of other people who all leaked information to the press. When the Inspector General's report comes out, which I believe is going to follow the Mueller report, one of the things that is going to happen is, like with the FBI, we're going to find out more about the Department of Justice and media collusion. And this has to do with Spygate. This is not related to Hillary's emails. This is related to the illegal surveillance of the president with the FBI, DOJ, and CIA, and the White House. So their collusion with the media is going to be exposed, and Q told us back on February 18, look for placeholder updates at Patriots Fight. Indictments, arrests, and declass will force worldwide coverage. Leaks, bribery, collusion regarding the media will force resignations with follow-up criminal prosecution. Former Obama White House counsel Greg Craig is now facing potential charges for failure to register as a foreign agent while representing Russian-backed President of Ukraine, Viktor Yanukovych. That is an article that just came out today at +2 from that countdown that Q gave us on the 18th. So when Q gave us that +2 countdown on the 18th, I think this news story may be considered what Q was going to let us know about. Also, another article here. Ukrainian prosecutor has opened an investigation into alleged attempts by Ukrainians to interfere in the 2016 election on behalf of Hillary Clinton. There's an investigation going on. That is an article on The Hill. Q linked to those two articles and talks about the countdown. Numbers do not always equate to days. The face of a watch or clock has multiple versions. Incorrect interpretations pushed as statements of fact often lead to pitfalls. In brackets, we have stranglehold, choke tactic used by attackers. The increase in attacks, attempts to deplatform people, shill infiltration, mainstream media, fake, MAGA, direct links to terrorism, acts of violence only demonstrates the validity and close proximity to justice. Pain is in brackets. All these attacks, trying to link Q to these acts of violence, attempts to deplatform people, only reveals how desperate the deep state is. Draw and Strike, formerly Stealth Jeff, now goes by Brian Cates, pointed out that if the plan to take down the deep state were made obvious for all to see, then corrupt people would have found a way to avoid prosecution. So he gets this tweet out. I'm still laughing at those who think the entire plot was exposed, aired out in public for the last year and a half. So that, can you believe this? I mean, really, they can all let all the plotters walk away. Some people are dumb. Q posted that tweet and then wrote this. The attempted coup, treason, in brackets, opens the public door to more serious crimes. The pill must be easy to swallow for normies. The lead-in. The public must be prepared for what's about to come. The Clinton Foundation, and then we have a whole lot of pluses there. I didn't count them. I probably should have. Sorry about that. All right. The Clinton Foundation corruption scandal is extremely complex. If you have ever looked into it, it is a spider web of complexity. If the public can first understand the coup attempt that was made by Obama administration against Trump, it'll make it easier for them to understand the Clinton Foundation scandal when it is exposed. Q asked this: did both of Hussein's parents learn Russian? Is Russian a common language to learn? Think then, think now, think Nellie Orr in brackets. Why would you need to know how to speak Russian in their fields of practice? Public fields, in parentheses. The Cold War, we have A, B, and C in brackets, and then D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, Q. Whenever Q refers to alphabet agencies, usually refer to FBI, CIA, DOJ. In this case, I think we're talking about the CIA. So Anand said, would it be because they were undercover clowns? Ms. Anand said, we've known for a long time that Obama's mother was a spook. Ms. Anand said, think then, Russia has always been a tool they used. Even when JFK was killed, Russia, Russia, Russia. Obama was born around then. I think he was actually born in 1961. Clown agents. Q then posted this: ask yourself a very simple question. Would the fake news media and other controlled assets expend this amount of time and resource attacking, attempt to discredit, cast as a conspiracy, a LARP, this movement if it did not pose a significant threat, danger, in brackets? You attack those who threaten you the most. Logical thinking. All right. In Italy, an immigrant hijacked a school bus, locked the students inside, and set it on fire. This is a breaking news tweet. Q posted a link and reposted a drop from March 14th when he said, be vigilant at all times. US, UK, France, and Italy. See something, say something. Narrative change is needed. Fake news attempting to rebrand the harmful testimony and instead provide misleading info to their readers. And then Q today says 51 children burned alive, enough to change the narrative for days. This is not a game. These people are sick. Q. T-Boots on Twitter posted a video of the school bus fire in Italy, and Q posted a link to that tweet. This is not a game. Q. All right. Ellen Kruger was a Princeton economist who served in the Obama administration. He was known for his view that raising the minimum wage would not negatively impact hiring. He committed suicide over the weekend. Q posted a link to that story. And here's a quote from it. It is with tremendous sadness we share that Professor Alan B. Kruger, beloved husband, father, son, brother, and Princeton professor of economics, took his own life over the weekend. A statement from his family reads. Q then wrote, start a list. Q. Suicide weekend coming? Well, you might want to pray for these people. They need our prayers. As evil and twisted as they are, I still think that these people need our prayers. I think God wants to do something through the lives of all of these corrupt people. The most difficult thing to do is to pray for your enemies, and we need to do that. Q posted a photo of Bill Clinton and his friends and asked if the rich and powerful people were going to keep the judge from unsealing the records. Drop number 3050. This was a post from a few days ago. Will the rich and powerful influence the court to prevent the unsealing? Follow the attorney who took the pic, who was located behind the camera. Sex trafficking is real. Q. It's a link to a Politico story there. If you're curious about the identities of these people, True Pundit actually has an article that names all these people. You can find it under the title Busted, Mueller's New Star Witness Against Trump Caught Partying with Bill Clinton. There is another person in this group. One of the Anons actually posted this picture, and this guy over here was not in that original picture. Could be a person of interest. Q's link points to a story about two anonymous parties who are requesting a judge to keep those documents sealed. One of the Anons figured that the photographer is one of the attorneys that is representing these two anonymous parties. Former federal prosecutor Nick Lewin represents one of the parties. He worked as special counsel for Robert Mueller, and James Comey was deputy chief of the criminal division for the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York. Q posted a link to the amicus brief that was filed by Nick Lewin on behalf of one of the anonymous parties. And Q posted this. Nick Lewin in brackets, Mueller connection, Comey connection, national security, Q. That is the last of Q's posts for the day. I wanted to add this. Mark Meadows has warned that sitting ambassadors are going to be proven to have conspired with the Department of Justice to take down President Trump. One of the things we know from Spygate is that Samantha Power, who was our ambassador to the UN, unmasked a lot of names of people, and those names went into the presidential daily brief. So I think we have some interesting news to look forward to. That is all I have for this update. Love you all. Keep the president in prayer. Keep Q and the team in prayer. Keep Denise and I in prayer. For those of you who are intercessors and prayer warriors, please take these assignments seriously. This is not just for entertainment. This is a battle to save our nation and to save the world. And we need to keep these people in prayer at all times. Thank you for your diligence in prayer.